him. I memorized all 12 steps. At time 9 minutes since the odors manifested, I removed the SCBA and tossed it aside. There was no odor now. I walked quickly to the XRF lab. The light was on in there. As I passed the conference room, I could hear a little girl sobbing from the bathroom area of the conference room. I ignored that and closed myself in the XRF lab. I dragged the file cabinet and placed it against the door. I opened the desk drawer and discovered a beautiful copy of the Quran. I opened it to 24.31. The instructions that a woman must not display her adornment or move in ways making noise to indicate her physique. I placed the Quran in the XRF chamber and powered on the unit. On the screen were the red, blue and green doors. I clicked through them in the reverse of what I used to escape the downstairs. The image appeared of Tiny Tim on stage at the Women's Club of Minneapolis, the little hijab girl close at his side. She was radiant. I could hear the sounds of cheering like a theater audience. Except instead of coming from the computer, the sound seemed to come from behind me outside the XRF lab. The moment he picked her up, she began reaching under her clothes to help Tiny Tim slip her out of them. I instantly yanked the power cord out of the monitor, making the scene disappear. I opened the XRF compartment. There were the 5 tulips exactly as described. I smelled all of them, no scent. I shoved the file cabinet away from the door, opened it, and made a beeline to the conference room. I spun towards the bathroom door, reaching in with my fingers and turning the light on, slamming the door as I moved away from it. I could feel the presence of the little girl, and in the darkened room there was a corner where a coat rack had a blue garment hanging from it that might have been the little girl's dress, but I couldn't see in the dim light. Some sounds of water might have been audible from the conference room bathroom as I left. I grabbed my coat and helmet, jumped on the scooter and turned off the nightlight as I left the building through the shop door. Headless e-bike rider was in the parking lot. I accelerated after him as he left the parking lot. Everything around was foggy. None of the roads looked familiar. At one intersection there was the gloomy shape of a mosque on the corner, with a minaret and 3 large glass brick windows. I followed the headless e-bike rider and my scooter seemed to be more powerful and faster than it has ever run before. As I sped away from the mosque after the headless e-bike rider, I felt something hanging on my back. It was the little girl, her hijab and dress flapping in the wind as she clung to my shoulders. I could feel that she was very excited. The road continued for many blocks, past darkened apartments and urban villages I'd never seen before. Then the road turned 45 degrees to the left, continuing maybe 3 blocks then turning another 45 degrees left. Now it went on a bridge over what looked like a huge interstate highway and cars raced both directions below. Then a 90-degree right turn. The headless e-bike rider stayed just in front, diligently leading me. After a slight left curve, a sudden right turn down a steep hill, at the bottom of which was a sharp left turn onto a winding and narrow road paralleling the large freeway, bordered by dense trees. It seemed like there was no way I'd make those sudden downhill turns and I'd fall off the scooter. But when I reached the bottom of the hill, the scooter overturned and I spun through the air many times, only to land perfectly on my wheels continuing along the winding road, feeling very stable. While I was spinning through the air I heard a scream from the little girl, not of fear but of thrill and fun. Now I noticed she was no longer on my back. The headless e-bike rider rode parallel to me. Suddenly, women on roller skates began to appear from all sides, chasing me and the headless e-bike rider with a definite malicious demeanor. They had faces that looked like rats. After another right turn, another overpass appeared crossing the interstate the other way. I found myself at what looked like a bus stop with a large platform. The roller skater women with the rat-like faces surrounded me and the headless e-bike rider. The headless e-bike rider removed the battery pack from his bike and threw it on the ground. All the lithium cells sparkled, crackled and popped in thermal runaway. The roller derby women shriveled in pain, their bodies crumbled to dust and disappeared into the clouds of lithium-ion vapors. I, however, didn't notice any fumes or breathing trouble. The headless e-bike rider pedaled away and vanished. Once the fog cleared I found myself just outside my apartment complex. My scooter was completely dead and the front wheel, containing the motor, felt difficult to turn. I dragged the lifeless scooter into my apartment and fell asleep very quickly. That afternoon, I rode to work on my other micromobility vehicle, an electric bike. I would later discover the electronics inside the scooter were completely fried, and I had to replace the motor control unit. No messages from the boss appeared on the phone. At work, everything was normal to start a safe night shift. The fridge looked new and the tamper evidence seal dated today. The only hint of the previous night, a written note: follow the rules. Next time the headless e-bike rider probably will not be able to help you.